Hi, I'm Barb.
And I'm Alex.
And we're Enchanterium. And this is our Zodiac Challenge series.
Today we're going to make Sagittarius, which is a fire type, and the stone for it on our
special Zodiac list, which everybody hates,
is topaz.
Would you like to tell them why there's two columns?
In English? Mm-hmm. Today we decided to make a little bit different style of drawing prompts. There are two columns. One is about the style, and the other one is a type of animal to mix with the center style of Sagittarius.
And we're gonna cut it up so that we can put it into balloons, which we will shoot with darts.
Pew pew pew!
That's your K-pop reference for this episode. The first person to comment what song this was gets Enchanterium points. There's a secret technique to opening this so that you can't hear the package.
Ah! That was fun.
This is also a competition.
Resigning.
I think we should try shooting it with a dart and see if it breaks.
Okay.
It did work. I think we can do it like that. Strzelę w ten drugi od dołu, duży taki, co jest na samym środku. O nie strzeliłam ten. Biło się w ścianę.
Oh no!
O nie. Mała dziurka. Ancient Greek. Musisz powiedzieć, który celujesz, żeby ludzie wiedzieli jak...
In your hearts.
Don't destroy the wall more than I did.
Okay, whatever.
Bro!
This is elimination style.
Nope.
Why is it so hard?
Mocno. Yes!
And it is a zebra.
I guess that's a horse still. That was quite random, you have to admit that. Anyway, see ya.
Bye, Barb.
We established a few things.
Our prompts are zebra and ancient Greek.
And Alex has bad aim. It's not necessarily news.
Yeah.
Well, I guess... Chaotic transition! Chaos! Well, Alex is out. I will tell you about the sponsor of today's video, which is Travel Town.
Travel Town is a fun and relaxing merging game in which you help your new friends, Summer, Terrell, Mark, and Julia, rebuild the titular Travel Town after a storm. They have these cute animal characters in the game as well, like this little monkey called Taffy, and overall, the game is just so pleasing to look at. On your board, you have different items, some of which make more items when you tap them, and you merge them to make better objects, which you can give to the town people in exchange for coins and other rewards. But that's not all. My favorite part of the game is the different events, some of which happen every day, like the daily challenge, or monthly, like the card album collecting event. My K-pop girlies will like this one. You can even trade the cards with other players and help each other complete albums for rewards, and the community is really nice. In the last event, so many people donated cards to me because they were just really nice people.
I've been playing this game for a while, and I'm level 35. Because I genuinely enjoy playing this.
Travel Town is available both on App Store and on Google Play, but to support our channel, make sure to download it from the link in the description. If you download the game within the week of this video going live, you will receive an in-game bonus of 200 energy, so make sure you use the link below and join in the fun in Travel Town. For the face of our Sagittarius, I chose Cleo the Nile as she has a beautiful tan color of the skin that will suit a Greek character. I was hoping to pick a wolf or a cat to have some fun with the design, but zebra is okay. Zebra is from the same family as a horse, so I'm going to use Avia Trotter doll. Another rare doll destroyed by customizers. My first idea was to replace Avia's torso with Cleo's, but I don't know how to take this part from this. I tried heating, I tried, and it doesn't work. This, I would have to paint, but if I swap this with this, I probably will need to put some epoxy, so I still need to paint that, and I lose the mobility in the joint, and I only actually gain a lot of work. No big customizing this time, guys. So we're only swapping the heads and forearms for better color of the joints. While preparing the dolls, I'm going to tell you some more about designing choices. So the prompt Ancient Greek is going to influence mostly the colors, the texture of the hair, type of clothing, maybe some jewelry and accessories, and the general vibe. I was reading about women in ancient times, and female fashion for respectable women was covering herself from head to toes with big pieces of fabric. And that's not really the vibe that I want here. So let's treat the ancient Greek prompt more mythology inspired and as a modern kind of aesthetic. I know it sounds shallow, but ancient Greek was a big, multicultural thing, and depending on the place, time, gender, and society status, fashion and styles were very different. Also, centaurs are creatures from mythology, so I feel like using a more magical aesthetic is justified here. But let's go back to the doll itself. I filled some holes and gaps with epoxy sculpt so the doll doesn't look so cheap anymore. Then I thought she's not getting big mods, so maybe she can at least have some chest augmentation like Taurus. So I'm sculpting first the bra part, and then when it's dry, I'm adding the top part of the boobs. This way I don't destroy the nice shape of what I already have. I'm going for a full look with a slightly too small bra, so the boobs look squished. Not healthy, don't do that in real life, she's alright. She has a big horse booty, so why not give her a voluminous chest? I sprayed her with 3 layers of MSC as a primer, and I did the same to the head. I chose a natural skin tone to emphasize that she is a hybrid of a human and a horse, but I will give her a fantasy vibe too, don't worry. I started from a dark shade, but then I thought it would be easier to have a lighter base and give her darker shadows with pastels. So I ended up with a color pretty similar to Cleo's original skin tone. Because I love gradients, I gave her a dark brown fade on the arms. Now let's paint the horse. I'm keeping the purple color, but you probably can guess it, I want a gradient. Come on, it's like a tradition at this point. So I'm using almost black purple on the bottom and going up with lighter shades. I'm blending the purple and brown with some pink. You may wonder, why am I never showing you how I make the gradients? It's because I have to, when the paint is still wet, try to manipulate the doll all over, and it's just very hard to record, I'm sorry. Then it's time for the base layer on the hooves and the bra, but let's finally turn the horse into a zebra with some stripes. I'm starting with a sketch using white watercolor pencil so I can easily erase mistakes. I had a concept sketch done in digital, but I drew the horse without seeing the anatomy of this doll, so I had to adjust the idea to the real-life model. It's actually a common thing in our work, trying to make 2D drawings look good as 3D models is difficult, so sometimes we're changing plans, even if we have a solid plan on paper, or digital paper. And this is why I like making my own designs. I can change ideas while working and see where the creativity takes me. I really appreciate this kind of freedom, and I'm super glad that you're watching us bringing these characters to life. Coming back to the doll, the white base took me at least 3 coats of paint and 2 evenings, and then I had to do some colors and bam! I did it gradient style, baby. From purple near the hooves through pink, orange and yellow, and white on the top. There are also a few stripes on her belly and arms, but I made them look very delicate compared to the rainbow ones. And then I added purple on the hooves and gold to the bra, and that's it for the painting.
You're probably wondering where you are. And you are in Barb's place. Even though the mat is not here because I tried to wash it. And I think I may have messed it up, but we'll see. Also, please, rate my nails. I put a lot of effort in them. Anyway, I need to dye these a little bit and add a little bit of a stormy gray gradient to them. So let's do that. I thought maybe straightening the hair would help me dye it, but then I thought that was a stupid idea. I don't know what I'm doing. Do I... I wet the hair and began rubbing the toner into it, making sure I coat all the strands and feather the toner out a bit. I left it sitting in the toner for a while, just like I do my own hair. I washed it and nothing happened. I mean, I guess it's a little bit less... No, nothing happened. Alex suggested that we had leftover dye from making rosa, and I said no, I think we have the blue one from making churro, and she was like, no, I think it's black, and I was like, okay, I'll heat it up, and it's so clearly blue in the video, but it was much darker in real life. But we decided to try it anyway, even though it's dye for synthetic fabric, and the hair is natural fiber, so it did not work. And good, because the dye was blue anyway. I am hellbent on dyeing this hair. So, as you can see, we have box dye, but because I want to do a test, I have other things, like this trash that my boyfriend told me not to keep because I'm not gonna use it. Joke's on you, dude. This is 40 grams, this is 60 grams, so that means that we need 2 to 3 parts. Gloves, not gonna use them. Okay. Ah! Is it 3 grams or how many grams? Are you serious? It's not 0 grams. Because I am a trash person. I have another one to compare. Yeah, that's what I friggin' thought. Twice the amount of this. So total, like what, 16? This could go horribly wrong. I am a known exaggerator of things. We will put 2/3 of this only on the regrowth, which is this much. Then leave for 30-ish minutes. I hope I don't like stink myself to die here. Oh, it stinks. I'm gonna go this far and I'm gonna like tip it around. Now I'm gonna make sure that I only touch the thing with this hand. Okay, and I think I will apply a little bit more here in like 20 minutes for another like 5 minutes. And we'll see if that works. And I hope I don't die from the fumes. Joanna? More like Joe Mama. That's it, thank you. So that's 15 minutes, which looks pretty good. And try to fade it down. I would do it like this. We'll see. I'm adding a little bit to make the transition better. Give me the glove. I don't want to waste a good glove on this. Okay, I think it's time to wash it. That was like, what, a minute and a half. This is the result. Pretty good, pretty dark. I think it will work. I'll try not to make like splotches like I did here. Gloves. Pretty self-explanatory, this section, I think. I don't want to flip all of this, so I'm just gonna swoosh it side to side and hope that covers it all. I am fighting the urge to use what's left on my own head. Ah! I already faded it, but it's already go time to wash this off, so be right back. I think I now know why hairdressers hate black box dye. This thing is potent. I left the hair to air dry to retain the curl.
It's time for Cleo's sculpt to shine. After matching it with the color of the torso, I spray it 3 times with MSC and I can start sketching using watercolor pencils. To match with the rest of the doll, I'm adding some stripes on the forehead, as zebras have stripes everywhere. I'm also drawing a simple sketch of basic shapes of the eyes and eyebrows. I know I want her to have black lips, so I'm starting with black pencil and defining the shape with a black watercolor pencil. For a smooth transition to her skin color, I'm adding a bit of brown. I added the soft blushing using pastels and then I changed my mind about the hair. I planned to glue it after the face up, but now I decided to reroute it instead. It's better to do it before applying anything on the face, but better now than after spraying the face with multiple coats of MSC. The hair has so much volume that I'm rerouting only some of the holes. I'm separating the fibers for 2 or 3 smaller strands, but sometimes the knot is so strong that I have to leave the strands tied in the middle, but I use them mostly in not visible areas. And this is how the hair looks fully done. I love the result, but let's go back to the face. I'm drawing the shapes of the eyes with my brand new black watercolor pencil. It's so new and long and fresh that you can't see the end of the pencil. Wow, that's something new. We doll customizers need very sharp pencils so they end pretty quickly. All our previous Zodiacs have nice, friendly looking faces, maybe except one of the Gemini. She's a bit weird. So I decided to break the rule and give her more of a determined and confident expression. I think Cleo's mold is a perfect base for a casual, resting bitch face. I plan to make her eyes blue because of the topaz stone, but I want to make the Greek prompt more visible, and I chose a typical Mediterranean look with dark hair and dark eyes. Then I decided to add some black to the makeup for a more dangerous and serious look. Somewhere here she started to look like daughter of Khal Drogo and Ahsoka. I'm adding some white details like light eyeliner, waterline, tiny lines in the irises and catch lights. I almost forgot about the eyelashes. I usually do them a little bit earlier in the process. I'm adding a few long lashes with a dark brown paint instead of black so the makeup is not too heavy. The last step is to add shiny gold Pearlix powder and spray it one last time with a matte sealant. And this is how she looks with the makeup and hair done. She's so cool. I absolutely love her fierce expression, big eyes and bold brows.
I didn't really wash out all of the dirt, but it's okay. Now that Alex is not working on the body for a moment, I can look through my stash to find a toga-appropriate fabric. Working with a horse is not something I'm used to, but I picked up one of the fabrics, which was a silky satin, and began draping it around the body. Alex made it clear to me that she needs one of the boobs to be visible, and that posed a bit of a challenge. Generally, Greek clothing is very drapey, as they used to use a singular sheet of fabric to dress. Gravity does not work the same for monster high dolls, so you have to fake the drape somehow. I tried to do it with my iron, but the fabric was not cooperative at all, which led to my little rant. Znowu muszę zrobić jakieś drapowanie na skalę mrówki. Nie działa tak grawitacja, żeby materiał płynął na mrówce.
As you can tell by the amount of bleeps, I do not enjoy this process sometimes. I even try to add a clip to help it gather.
To musiało być paper mache chyba. Naprawdę, nie rozumiem jak mam to zrobić.
Some of you may ask why I subject myself to this when I repeatedly don't like it. And I have many reasons. One of them is that I promised to do this series and I'm not a quitter. Another is that sometimes in the end, even though it's hard, I am happy with the result. Yes, I like sewing, which this is not, so I treat it more like a creative challenge these days.
Inny materiał, nowa nadzieja.
Sometimes it forces me to think differently, like here. I use a different, less luscious looking fabric, sadly, and thought I'll just do it like the Greeks did, one rectangle of fabric. And with that thought, I cut off the rectangular piece and hemmed the one raw edge.
It is time to do this again.
I might sound defeated, and I hate feeling like it. I hate losing and not being good enough. But even more so, I hate quitting. So, it's time to make a toga-adjacent boob-revealing piece of horse covering.
Also, I have motion detection in our place, and it triggers when people drive by. So, I get a heart attack. Looks like it's a snow pushing vehicle because it was blinking. Well, I'm glad nobody's robbing me.
I began to play with the fabric, tying it and trying it to see if anything would stick. I trimmed off the folded edges and made it more canoe-shaped and stumbled on something I thought might work.
Are we liking this? Ola! Hono! Podoba ci się? Tak. No to trzeba tu przykleić. Grzej, klej.
Nie wiem, co znaczy. J-Clay?
Grzej!
A, grzej.
Czasem po polsku, czasem po angielsku, już nie wiem, co mówisz do mnie.
To trzeba przewlec przez to. Coś ci trzymać?
Łapkę. Dzięki. To był mój pomysł właśnie, żeby tak to zrobić jak oni.
Jak oni?
Jak oni, starożytni.
Bez kleju?
Oglądałam tutoriale na Pinterestie.
Wow.
Rip, jak się to komuś odwiąże, nie? This is your tutorial for when this inevitably unrolls. Twist.
No to wszystko musi być napięte, żeby działało.
Beautiful. Zamykam. Hop. Tu zakręcić dłużej, więcej, bardziej, mocniej. I proszę ciągnąć. No i trzyma się.
No to ta pielucha fajna, no.
Tym pierdolne. Tutaj dodaj eksplozję. Dabuję.
At least I got a nice sister bonding experience from this outfit. A Sagittarius needs a bow, and I wanted to encapsulate the Greekness and the fire aspect of the sign. To tackle the first bit, I designed the sword to have elements reminiscent of Greek architecture like the columns and these maze-like patterns. Then Alex did the artsy-fartsy fire stuff on top of my model, and I printed the whole thing in resin.
In between prints, Barb here, I now have to come here and print a bunch of things so that I don't waste the heat energy that I've just input into this tiny space. Heating is really expensive. I did not know that until I started having to pay the bills myself. And I'm also printing something for the next video as well, which I'm super excited about. I also have a camera with cat ears, which is sleeping right now. But it helps me see if the prints are done from my house, which is great because I don't have to like time it out weirdly. I still set an alarm, but like time it out and then check on the camera if it had time to drip and everything. So that's quite convenient, I think. Weird Barb out.
Barb printed the bow in white resin, and it's so tiny compared to what I've seen on the screen. I just can't believe sometimes that these prints are so tiny. So let's bring back all the invisible details with gray paint. I'm using a washing technique, so I water down paint that sinks into crevices. I'm wiping the surface with my finger or a piece of tissue so the paint doesn't show on the bumps and flat surfaces. Then I'm painting the fire red, yellow and white paint. It was a challenge to sculpt it, and now it's a challenge to paint it. I gave up on making it realistic because the whole doll is more in a cartoon style, but basically I'm painting red on the top part and crevices and the lower part and highlights with yellow and white. Then it's time for dry brushing the column with pure white to make the details pop even more. And this is how it looks painted. Off camera, I glued a few golden dots and a chain, and Barb added a wire to imitate the bowstring. I wanted to add the Sagittarius sign on the hoof, but it looked better in my head than in reality, so I placed it on her belly instead. My initial plan was to do it on her hind leg hip like a cutie mark in My Little Pony, but I forgot about it when painting the stripes. Using a time machine, let's go back to the times when she didn't have a face and sculpt the ears. I'm using pins, an epoxy sculpt, and doing the basic shape first and adding a bit more volume after the first part has dried. And because she has a brand new horse ears, the old ones are not needed anymore. She's a fire type, so she has to be somehow connected to our Aries and Leo. We already have a warm color palette and dark skin, but I want the same royal vibe as Leo has. So I'm going to use real jewelry again. This earring will make a few great accessories, but first we need to cut it. I also thinned it down a bit so it looks better on a small scale. Always, always, always wear a mask when cutting hard stuff. See, this could be in your lungs, and we don't want that. I think I'm going to put it here. I tried painting it with a very thin coat of blue paint to pay tribute to topaz, but it didn't look good with the rest of the doll. So I read more about topaz types, and it turns out that they are orange, red, and even pink. So of course I'm going to use that in this design. Like the blue, no. Pink, red, this is what I want. It seems like I just like restricted color palettes. I think it has a Greek/Roman vibe, and it suits this character with all the gold and crystals. She's a centaur princess with a bow and big attitude. She still needs a tail. I'm gluing the hair in the hole, which was definitely easier than taking the tail off in the beginning of this video. And because she's a gradient princess, I painted this tail thingy using purple, pink, orange, and gold with a chain on top. And as a last detail, I added a chain and a pin to the top, so they both help to keep the top in place. That's all from me, but I think Barb wants to show you one more thing.
I also have an update on the custom doll stands.
There's no sidewalk, and I already have snow in my boots. Oh no! Not good. This is a car, and nobody takes the snow off. So you can see a substantial amount of snow. This is snow that people didn't shovel. Those people being me. I have a shovel. Somebody slips here, I'm liable. So I got myself a shovel. I've brought you guys to the new and updated, although it's always work in progress, studio. We have very nice cabinets now. We have the laser in its permanent place, also attached to a new hole in the wall. My dear Mr. Enchantarium helped me cut this so that it's at an angle so that these doors can actually open. And I have this mega lovely drawer for all of my resins and everything, so that when I'm working here, I can just grab them from under the table. We also obviously have a mess of cables. It's still a work in progress, and I think it always will be, but I'm happy to do some cutting on the laser finally, because it was off for a couple of weeks before we could get the hole settled. So let's try and cut the mirror acrylic for the new design of the stands, which I've teased on our Patreon.
I spent a good amount of time tweaking and testing, but that's probably boring to most of you, so let's move on to what's after that. I have cut my layers and painted the acrylic white from the underside. I then peeled off the protective layer and stuck the second layer on top, making sure the hole lines up so that the stand can actually be assembled. I used some OOAK glue to put all of this together, and I made sure to give it time to dry.
The second one doesn't have the hole because it doesn't need one, but the rest did. This one can be peeled later, and for protection, I will add a piece of cork.
We chose gold for the fire signs and other colors for the other signs, which I will cut as we go along with the series. I think they are cute and fitting with the Zodiac aesthetic, with the constellation on top and the circular assembly of the different signs. And this is how she turned out. Another rare base doll in the Zodiac series collection. Honestly, I don't think there would have been a more perfect project to customize Avia for than this. I also don't think that we have any more rare Monster High dolls in our collection for people to complain about us customizing. Maybe except for Freak Do Chic Claudine? Anyway, this is the last fire sign in the series. Can you believe it? Not even one of each Zodiacs is left, each type. I feel like we started this yesterday.
Do you have ideas for Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces? The next two are our zodiac signs. Do you think they should match our personalities? Or we should let the fate pick all the prompts? Let us know what would you like to see.
Has this year also passed very fast to you? It's already December. And also, if you have any questions for Alex and I, we're doing the Christmas episode next week, and we used to do a Q&A for those, so if you have questions, drop them in the comments. Make sure to follow us on Instagram for some sneak peeks and subscribe for future videos. Have an enchanted day, go download Travel Down, who has very graciously sponsored this video, and we'll see you next time. Bye! This video was made thanks to our Patreons. The biggest credit goes to our top Lost Sister tier supporters: Wolviana Wolfie, Lee, Mary Helen Burns, Call Me Ash, Barb from the Future, Aaron McCoy, and Red X. We also thank our cousin tier Patreons: Lanita, Jessica Shrestha, Awkward Cat, Nisa Lo, Kito Kato, Burb BTW, Nala Kerschult, Ashley Priest, Aquarius Sketches 13, Ryu, Emerald Havoc, Krista Hopper, Zippy McAdoo, Emma Thomas, Yumi Azura, Galina Harsion, Lucky Ducky Lulu, Ceres Eden, Leon Joslings, Mavi, Jeanette, Josephine Falk, I think it's Josephine? Was I pronouncing this wrong all the time? Kaylee M, Melissa Novoa, Rinth, Fan of TA, Catherine G, Ashley, Etwell, Hannah Lemon, Ellie Sherbet, Zari, Emilia Blackwood, Andrea Brigider, Brie LT, The Barbie Witch, Bowen, Inca, Stephanie, Tiffany Jeffords, Cara Hall, Landy Monk, Jean Beck, Caribou, Sif Sparty, Dragonar Customs, Ninja Star Dizino, Dream Up, and last but not least, Catherine Naughton. Thanks guys. Love you, bye!